Right, in the last part of this section, we're going to talk about simplifying with division and binomials. So if we have a radical in the denominator, and the denominator is a binomial, we're going to have to multiply by the conjugate. So that just means that if we have a plus bi, then we're going to multiply by a minus bi to get rid of the radical, and vice versa. So on 23, we have a radical in the denominator, so we have two terms, so we have to multiply by the conjugate. So we're just going to change the sign in front of the radical, and that's how we choose to, or figure out what we want to multiply by. Okay. So we would multiply by 3 plus the square root of 5. And then we just use our rules for multiplying to help us simplify. So in the numerator for this one, we're just going to distribute. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then 2 times the square root of 5 is 2 square root of 5. And then in the next one we have, so the bottom we have to FOIL. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times square root of 5 is 3 square root of 5. And then negative square root of 5 times 3 is negative 3 square root of 5. And negative square root of 5 times positive square root of 5 is negative square root of 25. And then we just simplify as much as we can. So numerator, we can't simplify anymore, so that's going to be 6 plus 2 square root of 5. In the denominator, this is really the same thing as 5. We can combine the middle terms, but they're going to cancel. So now we have 9 minus 5, which gives us 4. And then we have to check to see if we can divide all the terms by the same thing. So the 6, the 2, and the 4 are all divisible by 2. So we're going to divide each of them by 2 to get 3 plus square root of 5. Over 2, and this will be our simplified answer. Alright, so same idea with the next one. So we have a binomial in the denominator with a radical. So we're going to multiply by 2 minus the square root of 2. So again, we're just using the opposite sign. And whatever we multiply to the denominator, we have to multiply the same thing to the numerator. So both of these we have to FOIL to simplify. So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times negative square root of 2 is negative 5 square root of 2. Negative square root of 3 times 2 is negative 2 square root of 3. And negative square root of 3 times negative square root of 2 is a positive square root of 6. Denominator, same thing, so we're going to FOIL. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times negative square root of 2 is negative 2 square root of 2. Square root of 2 times 2 is a positive 2 square root of 2. And square root of 2 times negative square root of 2 is negative square root of 4. And then again, we're just going to simplify. So in the numerator, there's nothing that we can combine together or reduce. So we can just rewrite that. So 10 minus 5 square root of 2 minus 2 square root of 3 plus the square root of 6 over. And then up here, our middle terms cancel. The square root of 4 is really the same thing as 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2. And the terms only have a common factor of 1, so we can't simplify anymore. So this is our final answer. All right, next one. So again, looking at this, we're going to multiply by the conjugate. So the square root of 2 minus the square root of 5. And notice on this one that it doesn't matter which sign you change since they're both in a radical. Numerator, we're going to distribute. So we will have 2 square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 15 over. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is the square root of 4. And then we will have a negative square root of 10, and then a positive square root of 10, and a negative square root of 25. So numerator, we can't simplify or combine. So 2 square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 15 over. Denominator, this will become a 2 and then a 5. And then the middle terms cancel. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So we just need to make the denominator positive. So we're going to multiply everything by negative 1. So that will give us negative 2 square root of 6 plus 2 square root of 15 over a positive 3. And this will be our final simplified answer. All right, last example. Now again, we can't forget our rules for dividing by a monomial. So this one, because it's a monomial, we're just trying to create a perfect square. So that means that I can just multiply by the square root of 7 to the top and bottom of our fraction. So in the numerator, we're just going to distribute. So we'll have 3 square root of 7, and then we would take 7 times 6, which is going to give us 42. So we'll have plus the square root of 42 over the square root of 49, and then we just keep simplifying. So we would double check to see if 42 can be reduced. So again, we're looking for the highest perfect square that divides into it, but there isn't one, so that can't be simplified. And then 49 will change to 7. So our final answer for this one will be 3 square root of 7 plus the square root of 42 divided by 7. And that is going to conclude this section.